Now that the draft is officially over, let's give a draft grade. What is up, Finn fans? Yes, the draft is now officially over. The last pick happened, I think, about 20-30 minutes ago. Just wanted to do some research on these last two picks that the Dolphins did so I can give you an insight of what I think of these picks. Before we jump into that, I'm going to give you a rundown of my plans for videos for this upcoming week because I got a lot of videos planned for you guys. But first, shout out patchvibes.com. Fantastic site. They got great patches, t-shirts, pins, all that good stuff. Use the promo code DouglieDW. You get yourself 20% off and check out Miami Sports Music. Fantastic site and YouTube channel that I'm partnering with TD, with a bunch of other people. If you know who Solo D is, you know who these guys are. Check them out. Now, today, right now, obviously, I'm going to do my draft grade. And then I'm going to do the undrafted free agents that we're going to sign. That video will be out tomorrow because as of right now, if you're watching this, that's what as soon as the draft ends, teams start picking up the phone and start grabbing people that they wanted. That's why a lot of times these 7th round picks are probably people that the Dolphins think or teams think are not going to be, are hot commodities come undrafted free agents, and they don't want to have to bid for them. So they'll just draft them. So tomorrow's video will be breaking down the undrafted free agents. I'll probably make that tomorrow around probably the same time, probably be about a tomorrow night video. Then also, I think what I'll do is do a video where I look at other like ESPN, NFL, and people's grading of the Dolphins draft. We'll talk about that, discuss that. And then I'm going back. I'm going to start doing this series every year for the draft where I'm going to go back 3 years. So we're going to look at 2018's draft and we're going to assess it, because that's the time length that you should grade and assess these draft picks is 3 years. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, Doug, if it's 3 years to grade and assess it, why the flip are you doing it now? Because it's fun, and why not? So we're going to jump into the draft grading and then comment of the day. There's a lot of questions you guys been asking me. I'm going to answer in comment of the day. But again, my grades essentially for me, I will explain why I gave it the grade I gave it. It might be because of where they landed and all that stuff. So I'll talk about why I gave it the grade I gave it and why my overall grade is what my overall grade is. And I'll run down what happened and all that stuff. So let's jump into this. First pick we took, Jalen Waddle, Alabama wide receiver. I'm giving this grade for that pick a B+. Absolutely love the pick of Jalen Waddle. I love the type of player he is, the elusiveness, how he can make something out of nothing. You get that ball in his hands, mind you, he will catch it because unlike Jakeem Grant, this guy catches literally everything, but he has the speed, the quickness, and he has that camaraderie with Tua. Absolutely love the pick. You might be asking yourself, well, Doug, if you like the pick so much, why isn't it not an A? Why is it a B+? For me, the reason why, and I'm like I said, I'll give explanations for a few of these. The reason why for me it's a B+ is the injury. The fact that, he hasn't really played much time, but when he has played, he has just ridiculous numbers and ridiculous film. For me, it's the injury that made it a B+. But that's not saying much because I absolutely love the pick, and I think he's going to help this team out drastically. The number 2 pick in the first round, Jalen Phillips, the defensive end out of Miami University, B+. Again, another B+ for this guy. Just he in a ton of people's boards, a ton of people's, prospects and all that stuff, was the best pass rusher in this draft. And the fact that the Dolphins got him at 18 is why they probably ran up and put that in instead of taking like a Najee Harris or Javonte Williams or an ETN, is because he was the top-ranked pass rusher in the draft, and the Dolphins got him at 18. Well, Doug, again, if he's that top, pass rush, and you guys know how much I wanted us to get a pass rush, why a B+? Well, that's because they got him at 18 for the reason of the concussions, for the reason of him retiring or was forced to retire from UCLA. That is also why he gets a B+, but he did go to Miami and show that he is healthy. He played a full season. He got 9 sacks in a 7-game span. Like I said, going to be fantastic. But again, the B plus, the concussions. Then we go to the second round, and our first pick in the second round, Javon Holland, safety out of Oregon. This pick is getting an A. A lot of people, especially myself, had Morig as the number one safety on their their list. I had Javon Holland as a number two, a very close number two. The Miami Dolphins had him as their number one, and they got him. They got him in the second round. Now, I honestly think that if the Denver Broncos did not trade with the Falcons to get in front of the Dolphins, I think the Dolphins would have took Javonte Williams. And I think once Javonte Williams went to the Broncos, they were like, all right, then we're just going to take the best safety that's out there, and we're going to take Javon Holland. So I give this an A. The guy is all over the field. He is a fantastic safety. Again, the best safety in this draft, and the Dolphins got him in the second round. This is an A home run pick for me. Then with our second round pick, which we traded up for, giving up a third, 2022 third round pick, moving up to get Liam Eichenberg out of Notre Dame, tackle. I'm giving this one an A plus. At first, I was like, there were some other tackles, there were some centers on the board, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, who? It was another situation like that. Like, I didn't really hear about him. Shame on me. Because when you watch his film, you watch his tape, you see the size and the mass of this guy. 2-year span of not giving up a sack. Just a home run of a hit. Second round, that's the reason the Dolphins traded up for him. They probably didn't think he would be there. Absolutely killed it. Love this pick. This is probably my favorite pick in the entire draft. A plus there. Then in the third round, they take tight end Hunter Long. I'm giving this one a B minus for a few reasons, right? Nothing with the health, right? But the fact that there were players still on the board that I feel like could have been, for me, and again, I'll talk about this in comment of the day because I even did it, and I'm probably wrong in doing it. But for me, were better players and kind of more of a need on the board, and the Dolphins didn't take him and instead took a tight end. It bothered me a little bit, so that's why I'm giving it a B minus. He did play at Boston College, so that is Flores' alma mater. Flores really liked this guy. You watch his film; he is a good tight end. He is that generic, prototypical tight end. My B minus has nothing to do with the player and how good he'll be. It has more to do with Miners was on the board, and even Jabril Cox was on the board, and it's like, tight end wasn't really a big need. Yes, I understand that Smythe and Gesicki are essentially going to be free agents next year, so this could be, a future, cap savings. But I don't know. That's why I gave it a B minus. It could be me being petty, but that's why I gave it a B minus. Then, they were done. No fourth. We're all sitting there. All of a sudden, a fifth comes. They trade their fifth away, which then we're like, well, now we're waiting even longer. I think it's the first time in Dolphins history they didn't have a draft pick for 3 rounds. But they trade their fifth away for a 2022 fourth round pick. So we'll have 2 fourths next year. So that happened. And then we're sitting, waiting. Finally, 7th round comes. And pick 231 in the 7th round, they take tackle Larnell Coleman out of UMass Amherst. 6'6", 307-pound tackle. Played 4 years of basketball. Great feet work, weak arms. This is probably a camp body. He's probably going to compete. Again, these 7th round picks are guys that the Dolphins don't want to have to compete for to sign as undrafted free agents. So that's that. He's pretty good, though. I'm not upset with this pick. I've read it on Twitter that somebody said that it's better to draft tackles because they are the most athletic player on that offensive line, so he can be moved wherever he needs to. And it came out that he has been taking snaps at center. Not saying he's going to be a center, but again, maybe they move him around and see what they could do. We all know how Brian Flores likes to move people around, and then eventually some people get their panties in a twist and want to be traded. And then the last pick is Jared Dokes. I probably said his name wrong. Running back. There you go. You guys got your running back out of Cincinnati, 5'11", 228-pound running back. Some of his positives: broad lower body with thick legs, proactively hurt by inconsistent blocking at times. So good thing he wasn't playing on last year's offensive line. Gets his speed up when hitting the outside carries. Good forward lean and lowers pads and finishes. Size and strength to pinball off of tackles, which is great. Improved in 2020 to keep his feet moving through contacts. Puts a pepper into his chip blocks and blitz pickups, which is huge. That's the thing you most want out of these running backs is, can they block? Because sometimes you need some help. That's why, if you notice, a lot of times last year when Patrick Laird was in there, it was most likely going to be a pass play. It started going down, so I had to put the friggin' lights on. So yeah, that is the what we did today. With these late round picks, it's hard to really give them a grade, but I would say both the tackle and the running back, I'd give it like a B, a solid B. All around, I think this draft is a solid B plus to me. Take the averages, B plus, A plus, B minus, and then a couple B. I would say it's a B, a solid B plus for this draft, even borderline A, especially with the Javon Holland and the Liam Eichenberg pickups. Solid A, B plus A. I'm going to put a B plus / A. That's what I'm going to give this draft. So be sure to comment below. What is your grade on this draft? I know I've been reading your guys' comments. I've been reading, and we've been talking on live streams, and I've been reading you guys' tweets. There is a portion of the fan base that absolutely hated this draft. Why did we pass on Penei Sewell? Why did we not take a running back earlier? All of these things, I know. So be sure to comment below. What is your draft grade? I'm expecting some Fs in there, but if you honestly put an F, I don't know what to tell you. It's definitely not an F. If you give it like a C plus, then I'd be like, all right. I see where you're coming from with bypassing players that you wanted. But an F, no, it's far from an F. So be sure to comment below. Let me know. Now let me get to comment of the day. And again, comment of the day is me reading all your tweets, all your comments, and on the live stream, right? 1, no running back. Why the flip did we not take a running back? Well, 1, they tried to move up. If you go back and watch yesterday's video, Lock and Fora came out and said the Dolphins actually tried to move up in front of the Steelers and take Najee Harris. Just didn't happen. They couldn't, come to an agreement to move up. So they probably wanted firsts and this and that, and the Dolphins were like, no, we're fine. So they didn't, right? And then you have the Javonte Williams situation where the Dolphins probably sitting there like, Atlanta doesn't need a running back. We just have to deal with Atlanta, Your first 2 guys didn't take a run. We're good. Then Denver jumps in front of them, knowing they're probably going to take Javonte Williams. After Javonte Williams, after ETN, and after Najee Harris, you might disagree with me. Again, this is my opinion. I don't see these other running backs as a huge upgrade to what we already have. I see it as, all right, well, they'll come in, they'll compete, but it's like Gaskins and all these other guys, they're all the same. So that's where I think that they probably were like, we can wait on running backs, we'll address some other things, right? And then I also read a lot of people saying, well, why didn't they pick this guy? Or why didn't they pick that guy? This guy is high on the best player available, or high on this board, or high on that board. We have no idea what the Miami Dolphins draft board looked like. Again, they had Javon Holland and Jalen Phillips as their number 1 safeties and pass rushers. You might not have. You might have had Kwity Paye as your number 1 pass rusher. You might have had Morig as your number 1 safety. The Dolphins had these guys as their number 1s, and they got their number 1s. The Dolphins did what they wanted to do, and they got the players they wanted to get. Supposedly, Hunter Long was the 2nd tight end on their board behind Kyle Pitts. And the fact that they got him in the 3rd round, they're ecstatic about that. So again, a lot of people say, well, why didn't we do this and that? And again, I am guilty of it. I talked about it with the Hunter Long, where I'm like, you had minors there. You had this guy. Why? It's probably because they had their board differently than I had my board, or I had my assessment of these players. They're probably like, well, they don't fit. I bet you if I sat down with Brian Flores and I said to him, why didn't you take Miners. Why'd you take Hunter Long? He'd probably like, well, because Miners, doesn't fit our scheme. And he'd probably break it down to me, and I'd be like, well, that makes sense. And he's like, and this is what we want to do with Hunter Long, and this is what we think about Hunter Long. And I'd be like, well, that makes even more sense. So we don't know, but a lot of it is assuming, and that's why a lot of people are upset, because you had this guy on the board. This is who you wanted, and the Dolphins didn't take who you wanted. But that's probably because they had their assessment. They had their, guys who have drafted top name talent in Marvin Lewis and in all these other guys saying, this is where we have them laid out. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about with comment of the day, and this is a quote that said that I think Chris Greer came out with: you don't reach for needs. Because we've noticed that the Dolphins have reached for needs in the past, and it never pans out. We'll reach for a need, and then some of these good players just start bypass us. We'll we need a corner. We'll reach for Jason Allen. All of a sudden, there goes Drew Brees. Oh, we need this. Oh, we'll reach for Charles Harris. Hey, there goes T.J. Watt. There goes Darius White. I think my brain is not working properly right now, but I like that mentality from Chris Greer. You don't reach for needs, and they didn't. They got Jalen Waddle, Jalen Phillips, Javon Holland, and Liam Eichenberg. They had 7 draft picks this year. They had a ton last year, and they got about 5-6 starters out of it. They got 7, and 4 of them, in my mind, were home run hits. So they did better than 50%. And in these drafts, you want about 3. Out of 7 picks, you want 3 starters, and I think they got themselves 4. Even 5. Hunter Long is probably going to be really good. Again, I'm a little butthurt that Miners went by, but 5. They hit on 5, and they missed maybe on 7, but those 7 were 7th rounders. I think they hit on every pick they wanted. You can call me a homer, but that's the way I see it. But, I hope I answered your question on why no running back, all that stuff. Like I said, once the undrafted free agents come out and we get the full list of who they sign, I'm not going to come and make a video for everyone we sign. When the full list comes out, that video, we'll talk about grades from other people, and we'll go back and look at 2018 and see how we did there after 3 years. But other than that, guys, I'll see you tomorrow with the breakdown of the undrafted free agents. But like usual, stay classy and fins up.